Barbarino, and thank you to our witnesses for being here today. I'm deeply saddened by the attack that happened to the two National Guard members very near the White House last week. As someone who currently wears the uniform as a Guard member actively serving, it kind of hits close to home for me. My heart's with their families, and as a mother, I can't imagine what they're going through during this Christmas and holiday season. It's very sad. And also to the fellow service members, imagining what they're going through at the loss of a peer. However, what happened last week, it's only one incident in a growing pattern of attack on those that keep our streets safe throughout the nation. Many incidents are just lone actors, just individuals, but many are not. In June, NGOs handed out protest kits. That included goggles and face shields and gloves at the Los Angeles riots. In July, alleged Antifa members attacked an ICE facility in Texas, where 11 were arrested and several face terrorism charges now. Activists created platforms like ICE List, ICE Block, and Stop ICE, allow anyone to track ICE activity as they enforce the law. Gangs like the Latin Kings have even placed hits and tiered bounties on ICE and CBP agents. These actions represent a growing ecosystem of threats against those that are hired to keep our country safe. With that in mind, I'd like to ask Mr. Hughes the first question. How do pockets of organized resistance from various groups raise national tensions and make it even more difficult to restore law and order?
Thank you, Congresswoman. Peaceful protests are a pillar of our democracy, right? It's something that we need to be respectful of. It's when it goes outside the parameters of peaceful protest. And when we see that, it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous not only to the officers, but it's dangerous to society as a whole and our social fabric itself. Peaceful protests are good. When it resorts to violence, we lose our sense of who we are, and it hurts people.
Thank you. What do you feel like as a member of Congress that can be done at the federal level to prevent this? What can the people in this room, on both sides, what can we do to help that?
Again, I go back to enhancing the law. Look, law enforcement officers are there to enforce the law, the laws of what you all enact. And if you can look at ways to enhance 18 U.S.C. 111, 912, and look at other bills that are there, or come up with other bipartisan bills to protect the officers and even protests, right? Then I think we would be better off as a society.
Thank you. My second question is, how do activists and NGOs provide cover, legitimacy, and support for the violent attacks of terrorist groups like Antifa and gangs like the Latin Kings? And does this encourage escalation in tactics and violence? And I'll open that up to anyone to answer.
You know, it's a reality. It is happening. The NGOs that were funded in the prior administration, not to be partisan about this, did some things that were dangerous, to put it lightly. We have to admit that there's a divide. There's a divide. There are some that are saying no one should be exempt from any law enforcement actions relative to immigration, for example. And there's some on the other side that say everybody should be. But my point in this is that we cannot look to non-governmental organizations to put thumbs on the scales when given taxpayer monies, and that's happened, and it's got to stop.
Thank you very much. And with that, I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back.